I'm going to introduce to you all a concept that I learned in clinical psychology called the ABCDE model. And this actually came from Albert Ellis, who was the founder of rational emotive behavioral therapy. So it goes something like this: activating event happens. We have a belief about that activating event, and then we deal with an emotional consequence. And we stop right there most of the time. And it looks something like this. There's a story I want to share um, about a couple that went to Jimmy John's. And this couple, it was the wife's first time going to Jimmy John's, and the menu was kind of overwhelming, right? And there was a lot to order, so she's never ordered from there. And the person taking their order at the drive-through was getting a little annoyed, saying, "We have a long line. Can you please hurry it up?" And finally, she ordered. And so after the order, they pulled around to pay for their meal. And the wife took out her sandwich and showed her husband in disbelief because the sandwich said this. The husband immediately took that sandwich back, went to the parking lot, parked the car, stormed inside the restaurant, and slammed the sandwich on the counter and said, "I demand to speak to the manager. How dare they write this on my wife's back or my wife's sandwich? Let me speak to the manager right now." And so the manager came from the back, and the store manager just went up to the computer and said, "Sir, um, I believe your wife ordered a BLT with cheese." What happened? So, activating event, right? Something occurred that created a belief about that event. And based on the belief that we had the emotional consequence of that. So that's where we normally start with our players that we work with the students that we work with, even in our own life. When do we ever challenge our belief? And this is where the D comes in with this model. The D is debating that belief, right? It's debating the immediate belief that comes up for us. And this is where I pull on Viktor Frankl's quote in the book Man's Search for Meaning. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. And if we can create that space, then we introduce choice and power to choose how we're going to respond at that moment.